Hi there, how's it going? So we're going to continue on with this test drive slash co-driver style video, and today we're going to go out in a FJ62. These are one of my favorite models. They're aging quite gracefully, far more so than the preceding FJ60 model. I always forget, let's see here. Yeah, this one's a really late production, October of 1989. They're really almost identical. In fact, visually they're almost impossible to tell apart from one another. They were made for the American market from 1988 till 1990. The 88 versions are really unique only in that they have lap belts, 2-point belts for the rear seat, as opposed to in 89 and 90, they updated them to the 3-point belts. That's not really a big deal though, because it's an available upgrade either from Toyota or from the aftermarket community to upgrade the lap style to the 3-point. Two other nice things: the 88s do not have headrests in the second row, and 89s and 90s do. And then the power windows, mirrors, and door locks were considered an option on all 3 years, but in reality in 88 it was an option, and 90+% of them came with that package. And then in 89 and 90 they all came with it. A little bit of Cruiser Geek trivia. Folklore says that Toyota was coming out with a new FJ80 and they were delayed, so they actually took a couple thousand of the 89s and held them back to distribute in 90s so that they'd have something in the dealership to sell. What I've been told by a friend at Toyota was the reason for that delay of the FJ80 was when Toyota thought that it would be a good marketing move to make them all-wheel drive, or full-time four-wheel drive, which really just made them less efficient. They had designed it up until the end, with the new coil suspension, as a conventional, traditional Land Cruiser part-time four-wheel drive. So, problem was, with the coil suspension, when you got on it, it had enough torque that it was literally like a seesaw, and the whole truck would sort of lop forward and back as you displaced pressure on the gas pedal. So that's when Toyota listened to the marketing department and said, oh, okay, yeah, full-time four-wheel drive is better. But from what I've been told, the only reason they were full-time was to correct that sort of buggy nose-up effect that they had. So take that for what it's worth. I can't prove it, but I always thought it was an interesting story. So let's see, mild tech stuff. FJ62s in the US came with the 3F gas engine, although it was slightly smaller in displacement at 4 liter versus 4.2 from the earlier 2F motor. It actually had higher performance because it was a shorter stroke and it had a little bit more torque and a little bit more horsepower. I think Toyota was perhaps dreaming, but the official specs, pardon me while I cheat from my spec card, is that it was 155 raging horsepower at 4,000 RPM and 220 pounds of torque. The torque was rated by the factory at 3,000, but I gotta tell you, I think it comes on much earlier. Now the bad news is, with all of that copious new horsepower, the new automatic transmission was kind of inefficient and pretty much gobbled up all the benefits that you'd expect. Now, the really sweet setup, which we've built about maybe half a dozen or 10 of over the years, is you take the non-USA H55F 5-speed manual tranny and you put that in an FJ62, and then you can really feel the power. But even if you don't do that and you leave them stock, the 62s have tolerable performance, they have plenty of torque, and the big gain is getting away from that damn carburetor. I don't know, personally I hate carburetors, and the other thing is with the 2F motor carbureted, that also drafted you into mated intake and exhaust manifolds. So those manifolds are a constant source of irritation and frustration. They seem to need maintenance really just about endlessly. So you're either chasing an exhaust leak or a vacuum leak or both, or or cracks or warpage, and it just goes on and on and on. But with the 3F motor, when they went to the injection, the intake and exhaust manifolds are physically isolated from one another, and that literally negates that aspect of service need, and that's seriously good news. The other cool thing is the automatic tranny, which some people don't love, and I'd probably prefer a manual, but the great gain is it has an overdrive gear. For some stupid reason, all of the American Land Cruisers came with 4-speed manual trannies with a 1-to-1 gear and top gear. So that all of them are like begging for that 5th gear. Everyone's always looking for the 5th gear, which is why I suppose that's become a very popular, albeit expensive, upgrade when staying with the stock engine or when going with a V8. Now, a little bit about this particular truck. We've known this truck for many years. I got to go through my records, and I'll update you with the specifics, but we have bought and sold this truck years prior. We've been responsible for its service work for the most part. It's in really remarkable original shape. On the inside, the interior is stupid clean. Original upholstery, original carpet, original headliner, original dash. There's this carpet dash pad thingamajigger on here, but the dash is in remarkable shape. There is, yeah, one crack right over the quad gauge, but fortunately, this being the gray color group interior, parts availability for the gray interior is far greater than that of the brown and tan interior. So this dash pad is still available brand new from Toyota. Further good news, it used to be $1,200. Last time I checked, Toyota had adjusted the price to about $400, and it's not brain surgery to change. On the exterior, the paint on the truck is all original, and I must say it's getting a little thin here and there, but being white, you can get away with it. So it looks really good and clean, but it's not so stupid clean that you're worried about actually enjoying the truck and using it as the utility vehicle you're supposed to be using it as. All dash plastics are uncracked and happy. Door panels are perfect. Power windows, mirrors, door locks all function as designed. This truck has only 131,109 miles on it as of me driving it right now. It's been in Southern California since day one. And when I say clean on the interior, I mean clean in the sort of owned by an aircraft mechanic anal sense of clean. Like inside of the center console, there's no discoloration, no stains. Carpet, even under the seats, no nubbing, no wear. Really remarkable. It's had these rubber aftermarket floor mats in it for a long time. And underneath them, again, the factory carpet is really impeccable. You'll notice in the inner fenders that they're still the original white coating. It has not been touched, altered, undercoated, nothing hidden, so that shows and attests to its California history, because it's just super sanitary underneath. There have been upgrades done to this truck, all again by TLC. We've combed through it in the past and done our full stage 1 mechanical overhaul, which basically means we start with like a 35-page list designed specifically for the model. We spent about 3 days just inspecting and documenting conditions based on, you know, load testing, the charging system, pressure testing, the cooling system, compression testing, the motor, leak down testing if needed, pulling out micrometers for speccing brake parts and blah blah blah. Then my service manager Jay compiles that list and puts together a list of the things that are not within factory tolerances, not just things that ain't working, but things that are not within the factory tolerances. And then we comb through the truck and repair all of those or replace them. So that was done a number of years ago, but the thoroughness and importance of the stage 1 restoration is supported by the clean bill of health and service records of the truck ever since. The suspension has been updated with the Old Man EMU system out of Australia. That's our favorite system. So it lifts the truck about 2 1/4, 2 1/2. You may notice that the truck rakes forward a little bit. that is engineered to be that way for additional load capacity. And also the engineers at ARB who make the Old Man Emu system say that helps sort of pre-tense the suspension at speed on like a washboard dirt road and presets the load and makes the truck handle quite predictably. Now if that irks you, we can remove one of the overload leaves to create a more level stance, which some people like us to do. But this truck pulls really nice. The drive is super sano. Also, the audio system has been upgraded. It has a touchscreen Alpine with Bluetooth and all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of funny. It has this silly little fake thingy that you put on top of the stereo to hide it. I don't know. I kind of prefer the simplicity of the aesthetic of that one, but whatever. It's a nice unit and it works well. Speakers have also been updated without altering the door or cargo panels, which is a nice move. It's nice to see it when they're done that way. We have all the factory manuals in the glove box, and we just finished combing through this truck. It's ready to rock. So now we're at the park. I'll give you a little tour of the truck in more detail. Had a chance to go through the service files also. So we first came across the truck actually in 2008 with 95,000 miles on it. That's the time when we did the full stage 1 restoration mechanically, highlights of which included front and rear brakes, complete system, front axle overhaul with Burfield seals, completely new cooling system, all new belts, valve adjustment, full factory tune-up, injectors, fuel pressure regulator, and the Old Man Emu. Here are the imperfections in the paint. So there's one at the top of the rear, above the rear lift gate. And then there's a couple scratches here I'll show you around the tailgate. And then, after that stage 1, we saw the truck in 09 with 99,000, in 2010 with 122, 2011 with 124, and just now. And we did minor routine service on it each time it came in, but really nothing comprehensive has been neither needed nor done since that first comprehensive mechanical resto. And it's really a super nice truck. Again, my only complaint, if you want to get really particular about it, is the 2-car garage where it has spent most of its life. Whoever parked on the right was definitely not a car guy, because there are repeated dings, not really dings, but just paint marks that have been touched up. So you can see here in these shots, but it's really a bummer. You can tell it's the same offending car again and again and again and again. Wonder if the guy's still married. But anyway, that's my only complaint, and that is hard to see unless, as I just did, it's pointed out to you. Couple scuffs here on the hood that have also been touched up, but again quite minor. All the exterior trim and bright work is in very nice condition. Undercarriage clean, engine bay stupid clean. All of the factory finishes in the engine bay are phenomenal. Factory chrome finish on the wheels, exceptional. And on that interior, it's really clean. There's let's see, the vinyl on the lower outboard panel of the driver's seat is worn. There's a similar wear-through tear on the inboard vertical side plane of the driver's seat. We can take care of both of those. It's a matter of hundreds of bucks to address it. It's nothing big. Probably is worth doing. I'd recommend it. But that's totally up to you. You might find you just want to leave it alone and party on. But as always, trucks like this, what we try and do is find you something that's just proper, clean, sanitary, with a known history and no rust, and then let you decide what you want to do from there. So some clients are perfectly happy with this exceptional truck as it sits, and they'll just leave it alone and continue to drive it. Other clients say, yeah, I dig it, but I want new paint, or I want leather interior, or I want a V8, or who knows what. So it's really up to you, I suppose. Either way you look at it, as these trucks are getting up in the years, it's getting extremely hard to find them of this caliber and quality, and especially without having 300,000 miles and rust blisters everywhere. So I appreciate you taking the time to watch these videos. I hope you are seeing some improvements as I try to get my cinematography and editing skills together just a wee bit, step by step. We ship internationally. We're located in Southern California. You're more than welcome to come visit us, or if you choose to, like probably about 90% of our clients, we ship them out to lands far and distant and rarely get to meet our clients. But we've been in business over 18 years specializing in just these vehicles, and if you look into us, you'll see that we have a hard-earned reputation for quality. So any further questions, please pick up the phone and call us at 818-280-3330. And as always, certainly visit our website. You'll see tons of stills and more details about this and any other trucks we have for sale at TLC4x4.com. Thanks again.